What if the most detached man in history sat face to face with the man who commanded the most powerful empire in the world? One believed that suffering is born of desire, the other that virtue is born of duty. But deep down, they were both trying to escape the same hell, the human mind. Then Marcus Aurelius asks Buddha,
"You left everything behind, a throne, a wife, an entire life. Why?"
Buddha responds,
"Because I had everything, except peace." "And you? Why did you stay?"
"Because someone had to maintain order while everything was falling apart. The world screams, 'Buddha, you can't meditate while Rome burns.'
But the most dangerous fire isn't outside, it's within.
And if I extinguish this inner fire, who will care for the world?"
If you don't take care of your mind, the world will do it for you, and the world has no compassion.
You know, sometimes I wonder if I did the right thing by not leaving everything, like you did. I spent my life trying to be a just man, trying to maintain order in an empire that knows only chaos, and even so, I never slept a single night in peace. Responsibility weighs heavy, even when you believe you're doing the right thing. It's like carrying the world on your back and realizing, too late, that the world never asked you to.
We're not wrong for trying to keep the world in balance. But maybe you forgot that there is no stability outside. Reality shifts like the wind. And while you try to hold everything with your hands, your own soul slips through your fingers. Once carried the weight of a kingdom, but one day I realized there's no use building peace for others. If inside me there is only war.
And how did you win that war? With silence, meditation, renunciation. Those things feel so distant to me. I'm surrounded by advisors, soldiers, decisions. I don't have the luxury of the silence you found.
Silence is not a place, it's a decision. I found it in the middle of the noise. When I chose to stop reacting, stop judging, stop fighting what already is. You believe your mind is at the mercy of the empire, but the truth is, the entire empire fits within your mind.
Sometimes I think, maybe all this we practice, discipline, self-control, renunciation, is just another form of pride, a subtle way of trying to master what cannot be mastered. I've restrained anger, I've conquered fear, but deep down, did I only suppress them? Did I become an emperor just to keep my own ego on a short leash?
You're not alone in this. Even when I left everything behind, I still carried within me the desire to be someone enlightened, someone beyond pain. That too was ego, disguised as purity. The ego is clever. It doesn't only seek pleasure, it seeks meaning. And even the desire for enlightenment can be just another one of its traps.
So what remains? If even the desire for transcendence is vanity, should I simply let everything happen? Watch the world unravel while I cultivate detachment? That feels like cowardice.
It's not about running away. True detachment is not indifference. It's presence without imprisonment. You can act in the world, fight, build, protect, but without being a hostage to the result. Your strength, Marcus, lies in conscious action. Mine in clear non-action. And maybe the true path lies somewhere between the two.
There's a part of me that can't stand silence. When the world goes quiet, my mind screams. And when my mind screams, I work, I produce, I write, I lead. I'd do anything just to avoid hearing what's inside. Yes, I became an emperor, but I also became a prisoner of the image the world projects onto me, a symbol of strength, of logic, of reason. But what if that armor weighs more than it protects? What if self-control itself becomes a golden cage? I wonder, if I stop, if I let everything fall, what will be left of me?
What will be left is what was always there, behind all of it. Before the title, before the discipline, before the search. A space, a silence, a consciousness that needs nothing to exist. You say you fear silence, but maybe what truly scares you isn't silence, but what it reveals. Because silence has a sacred cruelty. It doesn't scream, it doesn't explain, it just shows. And sometimes what it shows is that you spent your whole life trying to save yourself from yourself. But that's not a condemnation. It's an opportunity. Because it's only when everything falls apart, you finally see the sky that was hidden behind the walls.
You speak as if you've reached that place, as if you've conquered the mind. But tell me honestly, did the pain go away? Did the fear disappear?
No, but now I know them. And when you truly know something, you no longer need to fight it. The suffering still comes. But it doesn't drag me anymore. Sadness still visits. But she sits beside me in silence. In fear, it still knocks on the door, but I don't need to answer. Freedom, Marcus, isn't about getting rid of everything. It's about being able to feel everything without being ruled by anything.
Then the key isn't control nor escape, but to allow.
Allow, with awareness, to accept, with compassion, to act with detachment, and to remember every single day that what you're trying so hard to reach might already be here, waiting for you to stop searching.
Maybe the greatest courage is to stop pretending we know the way and simply walk alongside the pain. No masks, no rush, only presence.
You know, Marcus, for years I thought the end of the path would be an answer, perfect phrase, an undeniable truth. But the further I walked, the more the words disappeared, and all that remained was silence. Not an empty silence, but the kind that looks at you and embraces you without saying a word. At first, I wanted to conquer suffering. Today, I simply walk with it, and I realize that pain is not the enemy of peace. It is the ground on which peace walks.
Interesting. I wrote hundreds of pages trying to understand life. Each line I left behind was, deep down, a cry for help, a plea for someone in some distant time to hear what I couldn't say out loud. And now, sitting here with you, I realize that maybe life doesn't need to be understood. Maybe it just needs to be seen, without the urgency to define, judge, or control.
Exactly. The mind seeks answers, but the heart only longs for presence. You spent your life trying to bring order to the world. I tried to transcend it. But maybe the true path lies neither on top of a mountain nor on the throne of an empire, but in the courage to be fully present exactly where we are.
For years, I fought against time. I wanted to slow the passing of days, to preserve good moments, to prevent the end. But time, it doesn't bargain. Today, listening to you, I think time isn't the problem. It's the harshest and most honest teacher we have. It takes everything, but if you're paying attention, it also reveals everything.
One day, even the name Buddha will disappear. Yours too. Our books, our deeds, our words, all will turn to dust. But maybe, if in this exact moment, someone hears us with a still heart and feels even a spark of truth, then none of it was in vain.
It's strange. I spent my entire life speaking to gods, philosophers, soldiers, but only now do I feel truly heard.
That's because you stopped speaking to the world and started speaking to yourself.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
Not exactly. But I believe that whatever is unresolved returns, whether in another life or in the same life in a different form.
Then perhaps, if one day, in some distant time, two restless souls meet again,
they'll recognize the silence in each other.
Maybe life doesn't need answers. Maybe it just needs courage. Courage to stop, courage to feel, courage to look in the mirror and not look away. Marcus Aurelius carried the world. Buddha let go of the world. But in the end, they both realized peace isn't in holding on to or in letting go. Peace is in not confusing yourself with what comes and goes. And maybe that's what you needed to hear today. You are not what you feel. You are the one who can sit with what you feel and still remain whole. Silence, presence, truth. It's all it ever was. It's all it still is.